Hello students and welcome to Intelligent Institute of Education. I am Fahim. Let's start Python tutorial series. In this lecture, today I am going to explain the concept of referential variable. So now self is a referential variable which we will use in classes and objects. So before watching my this lecture, so already I have uploaded a playlist of that. So you can watch from beginning to end so you can understand easily, right? Now, before starting the self as a referential variable in a class and object, already previously I have uploaded this the consecutive 2 lecture which you can learn that, you can understand, you can watch, so you can understand clearly. First, what is the concept of object oriented programming? As second, that which previously I given the concept of that, how you can create classes and object, and also how you can create multiple objects. Is this clear? Now, if you are going to apply in a position like academic and technical, so interviewer as well as examiner can ask many questions as a theoretical and practical. So you have to get ready theoretical as well as practical. So now I'm going to share directly with you Jupyter Notebook, so easily we can understand each and every part clearly. Is this clear? So now I am going to share with you so easily we can understand each and every part. So that will be clearly right. Now some questions I have written that. So let me this execute and one by one I will try to explain this. Now, first question is this, like, what is the purpose of the self variable in a class? Now, like purpose means goal. So in a class, we are using self variable. That first of all, self is not a keyword. Is clear? First point, self is not a keyword. This is a convention. Okay. And programmer have used this and worldwide accepted and readability. So everyone using this self. Okay. So without confusion, we have to also use self. But the thing is that in place of self variable, we can use any other name also, that I will show you in practical so you can understand. It's clear now? Now the first goal of self is in a class, how many we are using data. Data in the sense attribute and method, which is called as a function. So now we have to access the each data from the class and function, which is called a method. So for that we have to use here self. First point. Second point, in place of self, we can use any other variable. Of course, in place of self, we can use other variable also. I will explain you. Self within a class we can use, and outside class we cannot use. And finally, I would like to give you, with the help of self variable, referential variable, we can call multiple methods. Okay. And at last, that is called not at least, with the help of self, we can use many features of object-oriented programming, which is inheritance and data abstraction and polymorphism encapsulation. That I will explain you in later on. Okay. So let's start from first. When you are going to use the self, then how we can access. Now here simple, I'm going to take one class with the help of car. Okay. In car, this is the basic class name. First character should be capital and we have to take here colon. And now we take one method that is called def, and here I am going to write car info. Fine. In car info, I am going to pass here self. I will do one thing. First of all, without self, I am going to use. Okay. And after executing, will say what will be the error. Then I will use the self here. Right. Then here I'll use her name. and here input what is the name of the car, enter name of the car, and next I am going to use that is called as a model. Now, so this model will be integer like year, so I will mention here int input and enter model of the year. Next I am going to use only 2 3 variable because we have the concept we have to understand here is clear. So because maximum data, so is somewhat it will be the lengthy, so we have to understand the concept first. So I am going to write here the price of the car, and this will be in float because in decimal, so we can write here input enter the price of the car. Okay, so 3 data I have written here. Next I am going to use here def, and I have to display here. Fine, display this I am using without self. Try to understand. After executing we'll see what type of error, and according to that I will apply here self, then we can understand it. Is clear? Display, and here we have to use the colon. Now we have to print this 3 data. That's it. No any other problem. So try to understand very simple way. 3 we have to print. So print with the help of f stream. So name of the car, name of the car. Okay, here we have to write here name. Fine. Next this print, and here I am going to use that is called model of the year. F stream this model of the year, and this will be again in brace. We have to use that is called model. Fine. Next only last third value, that is called print and single quote, and here we have to use f stream, that is called as a, we have to print the price of the car, then price of the car. Okay, here also in brace, that is the concept, we have to use f stream here price. So far I have not used here self. Let's see, is it without self we can access, we can print the display. So here we have to create one object, so we can create any object. Already I have given the 2 lecture before that, you can watch. So I'm going to write here obj or obj. Okay. Any variable you can take. So this is the red, so start from the beginning, and here that is called as a car. Fine. And here obj dot car info, that is car in info, and parenthesis obj dot, and here we have price. Fine, let's execute. Okay, then see what type of error now we are going to get it. Fine, control enter execute. So got here car.info text 0 positional argument, but 1 was given. It means that line number 13 asking some values. Okay, so already here we have not initialized. Okay, this is the basically I am using here input value, and system will ask from the programmer or user, enter the name of the car and model of the year and price of the year. Fine. So now the question is very clear. Without self, we cannot access each data or any data from the class. Is clear? And after that, we cannot also access any function, any method from the class. So now I am going to use here self. SEL, self, every place, self dot name, then self dot self dot self price, self dot price. Okay, and here in display also self, and here also self, SEL, self dot name, and here self dot model, and here also we can use self dot price. Fine, now let's execute this. Okay, now it was before type error. Execute. Now there is no any error, and executed our program and asking now input the value of name of the car. So name of the car I am going to write here Ford Explorer. And what is the model? So model is now 2025, and now asking what is the price of the car. So in Dubai, near about 2 to 2.5 lakhs of price of the Ford Explorer. So now I am enter here 2.5 lakhs. Okay, so now press the enter. So now we got here that a float object is not callable. Okay, price of the car, float input, and int also model has given price, so it should accept here price in the, that is called as a float, self dot price. Okay, once again run this, once again run the program, so easily will. So here basically I have done the mistake, object dot price. Basically in place of price, we have to write the name of the method. Okay. So but what I have done by mistakenly here, we have written here price of the car. Is clear now? In third line number 14, we have to write object dot name of the method. So stop this and change this here. Okay. We cannot write this. Fine. Here we can write display. Fine. Now run this. Name of the car is Ford Explorer, and year 2025. Now price near 2.50,000. So you got here answer. See, we have given here input the value, we got here result. Is this clear now? So now concept is clear. With the help of self, we can access the each and every data of the class, that is called attribute. And even though what will be the function of the method, that also we can access from the self referential variable, which is also called as a instance of the class. Fine. Now is it access without self? Okay, and with in place of self with any other variable name. Is clear? So now I am going to take one cell and I am going to paste it here. Okay, this I have to erase this. Okay, so now in place of self we can write here any other name, like I am writing Intelligent Institute of Education, IIE. Okay, in place of self, try to understand this, IIE. Also here we can use IIE, and here I am going to IIE. Okay, and here also IIE dot. Basically we can use self. Okay, and in place of self now I am going to use any other variable name. So is it accessible or not, we'll see in practical, so we can understand. Is clear now? So that I am going to do that, IIE dot model, and here IIE dot price. Is clear now? Now let's start and execute. Once again we have to write in display. execute. So just a moment. Now let's run this program. So see, executed, there is no any error. Fine. So let's input the value and final conclusion. We'll see after getting the final result. Is this all right? So now name of the car is Ford Explorer. You can give any other name that depend on your requirement. Right. Next, what is the model 2025 and what is the price? Like near about 2 lakhs. Fine. Enter. And again same mistake I copied here. Price we cannot write. We can write here. This is called as a display. I copied previous data. Fine. Once again, name of the car is Suzuki. Any car we can write name and year 2022 and price near about 1 lakh, something about that. Okay, enter. So this executed because price will be in float. So now this is very clear. In place of self, we can use any variable, any other variable name. The concept should be very clear, but self as a programmer, they have specified we have to use self. Okay, so without any confusion, because every programmer they want to use this self variable. Fine. So here, and that also worldwide accepted, and that is called a convention. Fine. We have to use the self because no one can confuse this while we are using the self variable. Fine. But in place of self also we can use any other variable which I have used and executed without any error. Is this clear now? Now the thing is that now without self we can access. So already we have seen without self we cannot access. Fine. Next I am going to write now self we want to use outside the class. Is it applicable? Is it we can use? Let's see here. Okay, now I am going to write here print, and in this I am going to write self dot name, and now I want to print. Let's see, is it we can print outside the class? Let's execute. So after input this value, name of the car, for example, I am writing here Suzuki and year 2000 something, and old car I want to buy like only near about 7,000 dirham. Old car, okay, and printed here. But after printed, at last I have used end of the program self dot name. So here see int object has no attribute name. So it means that we cannot access outside the class. Is clear now? Let's see here. Now the purpose, we have to use every element of the class which is attributes and method. Can we replace the self another variable name? Yes, in place of self, we can use other variable name. Other variable name already I have shown, that is called as a IIE. As per your requirement, you can use any other variable also, like Rohan, Sohan, Ali, Jacob, whatever it may be that. Fine. What happens? We cannot self in a class, so we cannot use, we cannot access if you are not using the self. Now self can be used outside the class. No, we cannot use. Already you have seen not working. Now here this one very important, a very important program, and definitely interviewer examiner will ask, we have to get ready for this answer. It means that with the help of self referential variable, we can call multiple methods that I am going to show in practical, so you can understand this. Is clear now? Let's see here. So now I'm going to make one calculator so you can understand this. Fine. So here I'm going to use one very interesting, that is called init method. So this init method, that is called initialization, and this is called constructor in Python. This I will explain you in detail in coming lecture, in next lecture. Okay. So only I am writing here and I am going to use this. That's it. Init method and double underscore, and here I have to write here self, and here I'm going to use one value, and that value I'm going to initialize by 0. Okay. Now here self dot value equal to value, not value. Yes, self dot value equal to value, because without self we cannot access. It will behave as a local variable. Fine. So now I'm not going to detail. You can please watch my previous lecture so you can understand. Fine. Now next, here I'm going to use one def add. Fine. Here also I'm going to use one self, and here I'm going to pass one argument that is called as a num. Fine. And here what I'll do some calculations like self dot value equal to self dot value and plus num. Okay. And so in place of this, okay, in place of this, we can use in shorthand like self dot value, self dot value, and we have to add this. Fine. Then plus equal to, and we can use this num. So now I'm going to put here comment. Fine. And here I'm going to return self, because this totally a story program based on the self. Okay, how we have to access. So try to understand, this is very interesting. So def, and I'm going to use other method which is sub. In this also I'm going to pass here self, and here num, that argument, and use here colon, and now use that how we have to calculate this. Then self dot value, and here we can use minus equal to, that is called a num, because self that is called a self dot value minus num. Why? Because you want to minus return this self. Now what I will do, I am going to this copy, and same function I will apply for that multiplication and division. Okay. Now only I have to change here name of the method, which will be here mult, and I will use the operator. Everything will be same. I will use the operator here multiplication. Fine. Everything is the same. Very simple, and try to understand. If you have any doubt, so please write in comment section. So accordingly, I will answer for you. Fine. And here again, Control V for pasting. Now in place of sub, you write here division, div, and we will change the operator, which is called as a division. Sorry. But before performing this operation, I would like to give here one condition. If like number, if any division, we want to division now numerator and denominator, and denominator will be 0, then it means that we cannot divide, answer will be undefined. Fine. So here I will write num, that is called not equal to 0. Fine. And here colon. So now if number will be the 0, then we cannot define. Cancel this. Fine. So this condition I given here. And after this use, okay. Now here, and final performing this, I use here, that is called as a def, and finally I would like to display the result, final result. Okay. Display, and here I am going to pass self, and here what I will do, I will print the final value. Print f stream, I will take here f stream, and I will write here final result. What will be the final result? Sorry. So here self dot value Okay, self dot value, and we can, now our code is clear. Now see here, the concept is that with the help of self, we are going to call multiple method. So first here, this init method, I will explain you in next lecture. Now basically initialization constructor with self and value I kept here 0, self dot value equal to value, and here also I am going to take it the self, and this num, then subtract and multiplication and division. Here I am going to create one object. So object I am going to create here n. Okay, this start from the beginning, n, and equal to calculator, and in this I am value, we can pass any value. Now I am going to pass here 10. Fine. And now what I will do, now first function, that is called as a add. Fine. So here what we'll do, in add, I'm going to write here. Here also we can give any value. So I'm going to give here 5. Okay. So here we have to n, that is called, we have to call here n dot add, and again with the help of dot, we can call here sub, like 10 plus 5, 15, 15 minus 3, 12, and 12, 12 dot multiply, mult. In multiplication, I am going to give here 2. I will explain you after that. 10 plus 5, 15, 15 minus 3, 12, 12 multiply 2, 24, 24, and this division, 24, division, like I am giving 4. 24 divided by 4, answer will be 6. Now I will explain from the beginning. You can try to understand this and display. Okay, display. Now let's start from once again from beginning. Now class name is calculator. Fine. In calculator, I have used here what? The constructor init initialization method, and the initialized here value, that initial value will be the 0. Now again we have used here self, we carried here, and num. Okay, and pass here self dot value equal to plus self dot value num. In num we are passing some value, we will add, again we are going to return the self value. Okay, so now, and same process for subject, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Is clear now? Now let's execute this. Now we got here, see, final result will be 6. Now once again I will try to understand here. I will try to explain this so you can understand this. Here what I have done, now I have created here calculator. So class calculator, the simple thing, with the help of self, multiple method. Add is one method, subtract other, and third is the multiplication, fourth is the division, and fifth is the display. So here 5 method uh, we have executed in a single line statement. We have not taken, means many times, only one times. Is clear? We have not called many times, only one time. So while first, when we have given here, see, first 10. So first 10 value we have to taken from the calculator. Okay. And now in add, we have passed here addition 5. So 10 and plus 5. Okay. 10 plus 5. So it became here 15. Now let me tell. Here when we have taken given the 10, so here value came here 10. Okay. And now here 10 plus 5. This 10 and this here, it became here plus 5. So it became here 15. Okay. 15 here, now this value, because we are returning here self. So this 15, cell value is 15, and here I have given here 3. Okay. So minus 3, it became here 12. Okay. Come down, and here see again we are returning self. So 12, and we are given the multiplication with 2. 12 multiply 2, so it will be here 24. Okay. and 24, then we have returned here self. So this num value is not 0. It means that we can divide. Okay, we can divide here. We have given the num value is 4. So easily we can divide 24 divided by 4. Fine. So if num value will be 0, then we cannot divide here. So we got here 6. 24 divided by 4, it means that 6. So result final is 6. Is clear? So with the help of self, we have taken from each method to other method, and with the help of one dot, okay, we call multiple methods. Is clear now? So we have used here self, and in every method we have used self, and we have called with the self with the dot operator in one line statement. Is this clear? Still in this program you have doubt, you can write in comment section, so I can explain more in detail. If you understood that, then you can write okay. Is clear now? Now let me delete this, clear all drawings, this. So finally I will tell you one thing here, one thing at last. This I have used here. Now I would like to print what I would like to print. What is the concept of self? Fine. So here what I will do, in place of this, I will use this in self. Okay. So there will be no any confusion. Here I would like to the index value of that. Okay, like for example, this will be here, like this is called as a memory location. Fine, this will be the memory location. Fine. So in this, what will the index number? Now I'm going to print here. Okay, so or here also I can use comma if it could be work, like id, like id of id of, that is, no, it will be this, and remove this and remove this. Fine. Here will be self dot name. Okay, and here also comma id, and that is called self dot model, and here also basically I would like to give here what will be the memory location of this. Okay, identification of that memory location. Here id of that self dot price. Basically what will happen here, this data, basically name in memory location in somewhere, this is going to store. Fine. So now I would like to know what will be the memory address of that. Is clear now? So now after executing, we can understand this. Okay. Let's execute and try to understand. Here also I would like to give some output very clear. Print and some asterisk symbol, and here comma, like this I am going to use 30 times. Fine. Okay, let's run this. Let's run this. So here, just a moment, remove this and remove this, run this. Okay, enter name of the name of the car. So I'm going to write, find this Ford Explorer, and what will the year 2025, and price will be like near about 2 lakhs. Now this, see here, name of the car I given Ford Explorer, and this is I have used her id, identification of the memory location where we have used, where we have stored this value, like what will be the name of the car and what will be the model and what will be the price of that car. Okay, So now see the indexes of that. This is the different, and this also different, and this also. Now what I will do, last 4 digit I will to write. Last 4 digit here, see 1836. So I would like to write here 1836 memory location, and in this we are going to store name of the car is Ford Explorer. Try to understand this. Okay, this is a very important question examiner will ask from you or interviewer will ask from you. Ford Explorer. And in this last 4 digit, double six and double eight, double six. Basically, we can write entire this, okay, entire, but it will take some time. So only I'm writing last 4 digit of that identification, the memory location, okay, double six and double eight. Fine. And here the data will be 2025 model of that. Now price. So here price will be 0016. This memory location will be 0016, and price will be, that is called as a 2 lakhs. Is clear now? Okay. So basically this. So let me explain once. So basically this ID have used the to find a memory location where you have used this data, okay. So this name I have stored in this memory location, like see 2609991031856. So this is difficult to write here. So I have written last 4 digit, and last 4 digit 6688 and 0016. So basically now I'm going to delete this. So now summary is this very clear. Self we can use in a class and object, because we have to access the each element and each method, the function of the class, okay. And can we replace? Yes, we can replace. In place of self we can use any variable name, but this is a convention and widely accepted worldwide, and readability, and every programmers are using. So we have to use self here. Clear now? And what happens if we cannot use self in a class? Then we cannot access. It will it will generate an error when called an object. Fine. Can self be used outside the class? No, we cannot use outside the class. Fine. Now that is called as a chaining method. Okay, this chaining method, with the help of self, multiple methods can be called in a single statement. Already we have seen here. Fine. Already we have seen with the help of single line statement, we have used this single line statement, multiple methods, more than one methods we have called, and remaining features that will be, let me delete this, remaining features of object oriented programming, that also we can use self, like inheritance and polymorphism, encapsulation, and data abstractions also we can use. So that I will explain each and every lecture. So next lectures, inshallah, hopefully I will explain the init method, that is called as a constructor initializations. So now finally I would like to tell you so try to understand. If my lecture is good, so please share with your friends, and so everyone can understand. And if you have subscribed, so subscribe with other devices, that is called as different email IDs, okay. And try to practice more, and watch my series of the playlist, so you can understand. Thank you very much.